Gäste, willkommen zu unserer dritten Webfleet Mobility Conference. Ich bin Wolfgang Schmid, Regional Director Central DACH bei Webfleet Solutions und freue mich wieder, Ihr Gastgeber zu sein. Unsere heutige Webfleet Mobility Konferenz ist eine ganz besondere, denn wir veranstalten sie erstmals auf globaler Ebene. Mehr als 2000 Teilnehmer aus aller Welt, das sind unsere Kunden, das sind Interessenten, unsere Partner, Medienvertreter und viele weitere Marktteilnehmer und auch Wettbewerber sind heute unsere Gäste. Wir übertragen die virtuelle Konferenz mit verschiedenen landesspezifischen Programmen, Themen und Rednern in insgesamt 21 verschiedenen Ländern und in 7 Sprachen. Und ich freue mich natürlich, dass Sie dabei sind. Das Motto der Webfleet Mobility Conference 2022 trägt den Titel Mobilität 2032. Sind Sie bereit? Gemeinsam mit unseren Gästen widmen wir uns der Frage, wie sich die Mobilität in den kommenden 10 Jahren verändern wird und mit welchen Herausforderungen Entscheider in diesem Zusammenhang konfrontiert sind. In insgesamt 40 Fachbeiträgen mit einer ganzen Bandbreite an Themen zeigen wir, wie Sie Ihren Fuhrpark und Ihr Unternehmen im Bereich der Mobilität zukunftssicher aufstellen können. Freuen Sie sich beispielsweise auf das Thema urbane Mobilität und intelligente Städte. Das sind die Trends der nächsten 10 Jahre. Wir geben auch einen Einblick in die Welt der Elektrofahrzeuge und zeigen interessante Anwendungsbereiche und Beispiele für nachhaltige Mobilitätstechnologien. Wir diskutieren die Rolle von Partnerschaften bei der Erschließung des vollen Potenzials von Mobilitätslösungen und freuen uns sehr, unsere Partner Mercedes-Benz Connectivity Services, EasyPark, Urban Mobilities, IO Dynamics und Project 44 mit an Bord der diesjährigen Webfleet Mobility Conference zu haben. Aber lassen Sie uns nun direkt beginnen. Es begrüßen Sie Jan Maarten de Vries, CEO von Bridgestone Mobility Solutions und Taco van der Leij, Vice President Webfleet Solutions Europe. Begleiten wird Sie heute als Moderator der Ihnen bestens bekannte Michael Neuner, Product and Sales Trainer bei Webfleet Solutions DACH. Beteiligen Sie sich bitte wie immer rege mit Ihren Fragen über den Live-Chat. Wir freuen uns über Ihre Impulse. Und nun wünsche ich Ihnen viel Spaß.
Hello and welcome to the Webfleet Mobility Conference all. I'm delighted you could join us today for what is the first annual installment of this event, where mobility experts and innovators across the world will come together to share insights that can help power your fleet into the future. And we built the theme of this year's conference around one key question: Mobility 2032. Are you ready? Or to put it in another way, what should your business start doing today to prepare for the world of tomorrow? It's a big question with big consequences, and the answers will vary dramatically depending on your industry, size and location. So we've put together a wide-ranging lineup of over 50 segments and sessions, both global and local in scope, to help you forge the right path forward for your business. And in about 10 minutes, I will be handing you over to the Webfleet Vice Presidents for Europe and our international markets, who will give a bit more detail on the segments you can be part of over the coming day. But before I do that, though, I would like to take a moment to underline why Bridgestone Mobility Solutions and Webfleet wanted to stage this conference and why we want to make it a key event in your yearly calendars. We live in an uncertain world. Change is happening. It's happening exponentially at a pace never seen before. 2032 is 10 years from now, and generally it can be expected that in the next 10 years even more will happen than in the 100 years before. And sometimes changes become reality slower than predicted, like for example autonomous driving. But when they do come, their impact is bigger and faster than what people had expected. And even as we speak, right at this moment, events of serious consequences are occurring that are reshaping our lives, the way we move and the way we do business. And the impact of all those changes on mobility in the automotive industry is massive. The commercial vehicles we drive are changing, the people who drive them are changing, the fuels that power them, the laws that regulate them, the cities they drive in, business models, everything is changing. And with all that disruption, no one mobility expert or no one mobility company can possibly have all the answers. So now more than ever, we must come together to share our knowledge, to draw on the collective experience and insights of diverse voices and thinkers across the mobility landscape and light the path that will take us to this better future. And that's why we invited all of you here today. At Bridgestone Mobility Solutions, the business unit of Bridgestone that includes Webfleet, Tire Solutions and Data Solutions, we're actually in a privileged position to not only watch that future but also unfold it and helping to shape it. So what does this emerging new mobility era look like from where we stand today? Well, it's a world with many challenges. Since 2007, more than half the world's population has been living in cities, and by 2030 this is projected to rise to over 60%. What's more, up to 30% of today's congestion and CO2 emissions come from urban trucks, and the impact of e-commerce is only expected to increase. It's obvious that this rapid urbanization and increasing mobility demand will lead to unsustainable traffic congestion, escalating delivery costs and unacceptable levels of air pollution. So the world must act, and mobility innovations must lie at the very heart of those solutions that overcome these challenges. Well, part of the answer will lie in CASE, and we have all heard now how the new era of mobility will be connected, autonomous, shared and electric. This CASE acronym has been widely publicized, and it paints a pretty good picture of the direction of travel as technology and social behavior trends promise to address these fundamental challenges of mobility. So CASE is definitely part of the puzzle, but not the full puzzle. What's more, each of these separate areas of CASE will be powered by and glued together by the single most important ingredient in this new transport ecosystem, data, the oil of the 21st century. It is data that will allow the current model of vehicle ownership to change and enable sharing vehicles. Looking from the perspective of CASE, we can already see glimpses of what the future might bring us. Last year, for instance, we saw autonomous on-demand bus services being trialed in Singapore, signposting the future for driverless public transport networks. And looking beyond traditional modes of transport, fleets of delivery robots are already operating in towns across the UK and college campuses in the US, offering a solution to the soaring last-mile delivery costs. The idea of freight being delivered by drones, meanwhile, has whet the appetite of some of the world's biggest companies, Amazon, Google, and prototypes are being tested as we speak. And it may sound like a scene from a science fiction movie, but exponential technologies will drive a much faster development than ever before. Just another example, as a mark of our commitment at Bridgestone to sustainable transport, we partnered with mobility innovator Leij to engineer the tires for the world's first long-range solar electric vehicle, Leij 1, which got in production last year. It's up to 3 times more energy efficient than electric vehicles we see on the roads today. And these types of developments are just the tip of the iceberg, in my opinion. Perhaps the most significant changes we will see in the next period are around the transition to electric vehicles and the broader use of alternative energy. Here we are starting to see a true tipping point. Driven from the top by government sustainability agendas and regulations, and from the bottom by clever battery innovations and a massive turnaround from combustion engines to electric platforms. Electromobility is starting to have a real impact, with a variety of new EV models being introduced to the market. The electrification of the car market has been dominating the headlines, but the business case for electric commercial fleets is also growing, ever stronger. Light commercial vehicle costs are falling and range and OEM options are improving. In fact, using data from Webfleet Solutions, we have found that range should no longer be a primary obstacle for the majority of European van fleets. Webfleet's electrification planning report is a powerful software feature that recommends which fossil fuel vehicles could be replaced with electric alternatives, based on their daily driving distances. We analyzed data from around 100,000 vehicles and found that on average just over a third of light commercial vehicles drive more than 300 kilometers a day. You can see from these graphs that the electrification potential across Europe for both light commercial vehicles and business cars is huge. In Norway, electric car sales are already outstripping all other vehicles, impacting the street scenery of a city like Oslo. So, traditional road transport is being disrupted, and data is clearly an enabler to fuel that revolution. Telematics platforms such as Webfleet will play a pivotal role here in helping fleets to not only decarbonize, but also to meet the evolving challenges in this new Mobility 3.0 environment. The fundamental needs of fleets are not changing: to improve their operational efficiencies, customer service, reduce their total cost of ownership, remain compliant in the face of new transport regulations, and to raise the bar in driver safety. But meeting those needs will be in a different context. They will be increasingly striving to do that against the backdrop of new mobility business models, technically advanced vehicles, increasing automation, and an escalation of the Internet of Things and vehicle-to-everything communications. So, as we embark on this journey together, data intelligence will hold the key to businesses making the right decisions at the right times, whether they are connected, electric, autonomous, or even shared. And so, as the world of mobility changes, telematics and fleet management technology will change with it. Telematics all started by connecting vehicles back in the days with a basic onboard computer to enable simple track and trace, what I call here telematics 1.0. And since then, fleet management systems have obviously evolved a lot, broadening their scope, supporting the fleets with their emerging needs for greater efficiency and productivity. And now we are entering the next phase, Telematics 3.0, which offers complete end-to-end visibility, marrying massive amounts of connected vehicle data with artificial intelligence, automating fleet and operational decisions, and making our management and maintenance systems more predictive and preventive rather than reactive. Management by exception will become the norm, while our operations will become more adaptive and efficient. Using real-time insights and flexible ownership models to manage peaks and troughs will be better placed to cope with dynamic market demands. Telematics 3.0 technology will also become a prerequisite to enable compliance with changing and more demanding city regulations. Bridgestone aims to play a key role in helping companies to enter and succeed in this new world of Mobility 3.0 and Telematics 3.0. It has embarked on a transformative journey from a global leader in tires and rubber to a leading provider of safe and sustainable mobility solutions. The original foundation of the company, Bridgestone 1.0, began back in 1931 when Bridgestone was founded and established. As a leading tire manufacturer, it has always been Bridgestone's mission to serve society first with superior quality. The second foundation, Bridgestone 2.0, took place in 1988 when we merged with Firestone and became truly global. Bridgestone 3.0 marks the third foundation in our company's history, with our offering evolving beyond tires and diversified products to include advanced and sustainable mobility solutions, including the Webfleet software as a service platform. And as a company, we want to act as a one-stop shop to fulfill your most important fleet needs. And by partnering with you, we want to co-shape this Mobility 3.0 and Telematics 3.0 world together and increase the value for our customers, partners, as well as society. Well, there's lots of work to be done and exciting developments on the road ahead, but our ongoing transformation illustrates our long-term vision and commitment. And with that, I'm very happy to pass you over now to the Webfleet Vice President for your region, who will talk you through the day ahead and how to get the most value from this Webfleet Mobility Conference 2022. Thank you very much for joining, enjoy the day and hope to see you back next year.
Thank you, Jan Maarten, and thank you all for joining us. Today we'll have some amazing speakers sharing their perspectives on how to shape the fleet of tomorrow and on the challenges and opportunities we all face. I'm looking forward to these discussions and exchanges, and I hope they will not only inspire you, but also help us all accelerate our journey to a new and better mobility future. One thing I'm personally very excited about is our first keynote talk from Greg Lindsay coming up next. A futurist and urbanist, Greg will be taking a trip through the smart city as it will look like in 2032 and explain what you need to do to get ready to do business in it. Also delighted to say we have the team from Volta Trucks, a cutting-edge manufacturer who will reveal their innovative new electric commercial vehicles and how they differ radically from the traditional urban delivery vehicle. Another one of today's keynotes is discussion with experts from Mercedes-Benz, Project 44 and Easy Park, who'll be digging into how data interconnectivity and integrations between SaaS mobility providers will unlock the true full potential of mobility across the coming decade and what it means for a fleet like yours. Those are just a few highlights, but as Jan Maarten told us a moment ago, there are over 50 sessions going on today, including some in your local language, focused on mobility topics in your local area, and you have access to all of it. So if you wish to check out any of the sessions from any of the other 8 channels for the 21 countries taking part today, you can find details of how to do so in the email you received when you signed up for the event. Now I'm sure you're all eager to get to the first of our sessions. So let's dive in. Mobility 2032, are you ready? Time to find out.